All right, folks, gather around because today's story is brought to you by the Trump White House, now with even less oversight. In their latest episode of What If a Dictator But Make It America, the Trump administration has decided that checks and balances are just suggestions. Because why let a silly thing like the Constitution get in the way of putting your buddies in charge of stuff? Now, here's what's happening. Trump's goons, dedicated public servants, just tried to take over the U.S. African Development Foundation, an independent government agency. And by tried to take over, I mean they walked in, kicked over the furniture, and said, "We work here now." Great question, voice in my head. You see, instead of going through the legal process, where the Senate confirms appointments like a little thing called the Constitution says, Trump's team just decided, man, he has inherent authority to do whatever he wants. Now, inherent authority is a fancy legal term for bulls, bleeped out. It basically means we don't have a real legal argument, but what if we said it with confidence? The guy behind this master plan? Trent Morse, a White House official who sent an email claiming that since the agency's governing law doesn't explicitly say how to appoint a temporary official, Trump can just name one himself. That's like saying, well, my lease doesn't say I can't turn my apartment into a Chuck E. Cheese, so I'm doing it. And the person they tried to install as head of the agency, Pete Morocco, a guy best known for wrecking USAID from the inside. Because if you want to burn a house down, you hire an arsonist, not a firefighter. The Senate's job is to approve government appointments. It's kind of their thing. Congress even passed a law in 1998 called the Federal Vacancies Reform Act, which spells out exactly how temporary appointments work. And wouldn't you know it, USADF is one of the agencies excluded from that law. That means the Senate kept its confirmation power on purpose, so presidents couldn't just install their golf buddies into government jobs. But Trump's team looked at this law and went, wait a minute, if the law doesn't say we can't do it, that means we can. Which is the same logic as a toddler who found a Sharpie in a white couch. If Trump gets away with this little stunt, it doesn't stop at just one agency. This opens the door to him appointing whoever he wants to run other independent agencies. Oh, tiny insignificant agencies like the Securities and Exchange Commission, who regulates Wall Street, the National Labor Relations Board, who protects workers, the Federal Election Commission, who oversees elections. No big deal, right? Now, I don't want to sound paranoid, but doesn't this feel like a really convenient way for Trump to install his people at the places in charge of financial rules, labor laws, and election oversight? Almost like he wants to control all the institutions that could stop him from, turning America into a giant Mar-a-Lago with fewer rights and worse food. Here's my favorite part. The same people who spent 8 years screaming that Obama was a tyrant for signing executive orders are now totally cool with Trump handpicking government officials without Senate approval. Republicans love the Constitution, right up until it tells them they can't do something, and then suddenly it's just a suggestion. And what's the White House's defense for all this? Their statement actually called the people running the agency entitled bureaucrats, because nothing says limited government like presidentially appointed officials taking over an independent agency against its will. At this point, they're not even hiding it. It's like they read 1984 and went, great ideas, let's make this a blueprint. So congrats, America. If this power grab works, we won't even need Senate confirmations anymore. And after that, who knows? Maybe Trump will decide he has inherent authority to appoint himself King of the United States. And that's why I'm complaining.